with Tampa Bay over Cincinnati in the Super Bowl. So even though right now in my power rankings, my eye test at this moment, I can't put Tampa Bay. In fact, I'm probably putting them too high at number 4.
Right.
But I'm going to put them there because I think they're poised for takeoff.
Okay.
They're on their bye week. They're going up to Cleveland this coming Sunday. They are 3-point favorites at Cleveland.
Okay.
Is it dicey? Well, Cleveland's really good on defense, obviously, hit and miss on offense.
Yeah.
But they can put scares into teams every other week.
Right.
Okay, I think the Bucs can win that one. Then they get the Saints on Monday Night Football at home. And again, the Saints just have a quarterback problem that they didn't have, obviously, with Drew Brees.
Right.
So I think that even though the first game was a battle at New Orleans, I think the Buccaneers can win that game. Then they have back-to-back brutal. It goes at 49ers and Bengals at home. It's tough. They'll probably lose one of those 2 games.
Okay.
And then they go to Arizona, and maybe by then Kingsbury won't even be the coach anymore. But I think they can win that game, and then they finish Carolina at home and at Atlanta, and I think they win those 2 games. So the point is, all they need to do is make sure they hang in and hang on and win the division.
Yeah, they're going to win the division. I don't think there's any question, Skip, whether or not they win the division. I think the only difference you got Bucs at 4, I got Vikes at 4. I would have had Tampa at 5. And at 5-5, I just think the thing is, for defensively, we know what they represent. They're starting getting guys healthy, and they're starting to play like themselves. It's just Tom Brady is struggling to score. When did we ever seen Tom struggle to score 20 points? He normally get 28, 31. You're like, okay, this is what we need to get to because Tom is going to put points on the board. And now they're winning ball game nip-tuck. And that's not like him because they're struggling in the red zone.
Okay.
Normally when they get down in that area, Skip, that was normally automatic. Tom got 7 because that's why you couldn't beat the Patriots. Because they forced you to kick field goals while he got the ball into the end zone. And you end up looking back like we had our chances. We got down there. We were 2 out of 5, and they were 4 out of 5 in the red zone, and they end up beating. So that's why I didn't put them there yet. But who's to say that after a while, because if we re-rank and say a month, if we had like the college football playoff situation, we come back in a month, this thing might be upside down.
Okay, but the previous Buccaneers game against the Rams was the first game all year that obviously Mike Evans and Godwin and Julio all played together, all started and finished the game. Well, okay, so maybe with 2 weeks off, if they can get a little healthier, maybe that starts to click a little better in the red zone. I can't argue against anything you say. I can't throw one stat at you except maybe one that in points allowed, they're 3rd overall in the NFC, not in the NFL, in the NFC. Okay. They're 3rd in the NFC in points allowed. The defense is pretty to very good. Especially on the back end of the defense. The front end, like what did Philly do? Philly jumped on Sue. Sue is no longer a Buccaneer, and they miss him. They don't have Shaq Barrett because he tore his Achilles. They're going to miss that down the stretch because they don't have that pass rusher. They can mix and match with 4 or 5, but they can't have that one guy who takes over games the way Shaq took over the Super Bowl against Mahomes.
Well, look, I just throw the Rams out the window because the Rams can't run the football. They don't attempt to run the football. But they did do a great job against Seattle running the football, and that's the question down the stretch. When you play these teams, Joe Mixon is in concussion protocol, but I believe he'll be back by the time they face the Buccaneers. He and P. Ryan, they can run the football. Will Jamar Chase be back? We know the 49ers can run the football, Skip. 28 attempts, $159 last night, 5.7 a clip.
And what amazes me, McCaffrey's very good, but they don't have that star runner.
No.
Right?
That's by committee. Elijah Mitchell, Elijah. So that's what you get. And Jimmy G. If you let Jimmy G go 20 or 29 with 4 touchdowns, you're probably going to lose.
You're going to lose. But can you trust him to do that in bigger games and playoff games?
I just think the thing is, Skip, now he's shown now come playoff time, he's guiding a team to the Super Bowl, Skip. Now, you might say, well, he did get there and he didn't play very well, but there have been very few quarterbacks that's active that can say, I've taken a team to the Super Bowl. And that's normally reserved for the highest of the highs. Mahomes, Brady, Joe Burrow went last year, Matthew Stafford. But they're not a whole, it's not like the NFL is littered with guys that's going to the Super Bowl. Joe Flacco is 3rd on the depth chart. He's a guy that can say that. But there are not a whole lot of guys. So Jimmy G can always say, you know what, no matter what they say, I've done this before. Kyle Shanahan will remind him, Jimmy, no matter what the outside world is saying, you have taken us to the Super Bowl.
That is
we
true.
believe in you.
Okay, yet if we just do quarterbacks of the top 4 teams, or you got the Vikings.
I got the Vikings.
Okay, let's do the top 5 teams.
Okay.
Would you have the Bucs at 5?
I got Bucs at 5. Absolutely.
Okay. Which of these quarterbacks are the most trustable Well,
oh, and Brady, of course.
Okay, it would be Brady down the stretch in the biggest games just because he's been there and done that so many times, okay? I love Jalen Hurts, but he hasn't been there and done any of this, to tell you the truth. And he played that first playoff game against Brady last year, and he did not play well.
No,
they didn't play well. He did not play well.
Correct.
Okay, so do I trust Dak going forward? I think I do, but I'm not completely sure of it. I don't trust Jimmy G, and I definitely don't trust Kirk Cousins going forward. So when I look at the quarterbacks, the only reason I'm hanging in with the Bucs in the NFC is because it's down, 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 in part because there are no superstar quarterbacks at the top where you say, well, like, is there a Mahomes here? Well, obviously there's no Mahomes, right?
But Skip, all that what you just said of the top 5 teams, Jimmy G is the second most trustable because he's the guy that's gotten to an NFC championship. He's the guy that's gotten to the Super Bowl. These other guys, Jalen Hurts lost his first game. Dak and Cousins. So Jimmy G is like, hold on. I'm the second most reliable that you can put your money on.
Okay, and I'm going to give him this. I'm not a fan. But he did go to Dallas, and he played well enough for them to win fairly convincingly. And then he went to Lambeau, and he definitely played well enough for them to beat Aaron Rodgers.
He was a dropped interception away from going to the Super Bowl again.
He was.
If that guy catches if that safety catches that football, I think it was Tart.
If he catches, he's no longer a 49er.
Skip, if he catches that ball, Skip, it's over.
Matt Stafford did what he usually did in Detroit. He threw it right to him.
And we're looking at Jimmy G as a 2-time participant in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Would he have won it? I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, that'd have been tough. That'd have been tough.
Yep. I agree. So we're pretty close, but I'm a little more bullish on Dallas.
You're a lot more bullish on Dallas and the Bucs than I am because I think you got the Bucs at 4.
I do.
You got the Cowboys at 1, 49ers at 2, Eagles at 3.
And you still, as much as you don't completely believe in Jalen Hurts, you're still you're buying Eagles at number 1
for the time being.
Okay.
Like I said, we're gonna reconvene in a month.
Okay.
Because they have 3 or 4. I think they have 3 or 4 games left. But Skip, when you look at the 49ers got only got 5 of their last 7 games are home.
They're in the.
I did I can go, and they go into Seattle and they go into the Raiders.
Yep.
But they get the Saints at home on Sunday. They get the Dolphins, Bucks. So they got 3 straight home games.
They could win out pretty easily.
Yeah.
I feel like the season hadn't even started yet. It's just about to start.
Yeah. Oh, November, we'll find out some things. I mean, December, we'll find out.
We are certainly jumping into the second half of the season, guys. And when you look at strength of schedule going forward for the contenders, the Chiefs, Bucks, and 49ers have the easiest path. All right, let's dive a little bit deeper into this, gentlemen. The Cowboys are the real Cowboys.